Yeah.
And it is just another service.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's a rip and fire, I tell you.
Throws out some rain, doesn't it?
Hello, I'm Bernie Maloney. I'm from Warrnambool. I was originally from Terang Way, and I was a dairy farmer. And I thought I would be the last bloke that ever had any trouble with depression. I had a great family around me, a lovely wife, 6 great kids, and a good farm. And where I got into trouble was I started worrying about everything, and I worried about the things that I probably shouldn't have worried about. And I kept all that inside me. And it got to the stage where it affected how I functioned on a daily basis, but I hid it from everybody. I was very good at hiding, and the longer I hid it, the bigger the problems grew and the more I worried about things. So it got to the stage where I broke down to my wife and said that I needed help, and she just stood beside me and helped me as I thought she would. And it was just her love that got me through it, I think, in the end. I was lucky that I got help, and I got help from a doctor. I got on medication. I shared my story with people through footy club, and they supported me as well. And I think getting the story out there, not trying to keep it inside, was where I was able to share my concerns and problems, and all of a sudden the problems weren't nearly as bad as I thought they were. I've had a couple of setbacks over time, mainly, through, again, worrying about things, finances and stuff like that. The lesson I've learned is that you've got to react quickly to the things that are worrying you, and I call them my triggers. If I react quickly to the triggers and get help again, I can get over them fairly quickly. So my message to anybody, whether it's yourself with worrying or mental illness problems, or someone that you love, is do something about it. Don't keep it inside. Ask your friends, ask your family, whether it's your husband, wife, or your kids or cousins. I just noticed you've been dropping out of the social side of things, or you seem to be worrying about things that maybe you shouldn't be worrying about. I'm here for you. A hand on your shoulder and "are you okay" means an enormous amount to people. Now, they might react to it straight away, because to get help you have to admit that you need help, and once you do that, it's an enormous amount of people who are there to help you, and Let's Talk is part of that. And I'm happy to be able to help in my little way. My story is a positive story because I asked for help, I got the help I needed, and I'm living a very positive life now because of it. So my advice to everybody is, let's talk. If you need help, ask for it. If you think somebody needs help, wrap your arms around them and say that you're there for them. You don't have to solve their problems, just let them know that you're there. All right, thanks very much.
So here's the leap of faith. 35 years ago, I was driving myself home from Geelong to my home. I lined up a tree. It was not premeditated. What stopped me from hitting that tree was my little baby boy cried in the back. I got myself some help. I went to my GP, and with the support of some pretty special people, mainly my mum and dad, I sort of got back to being normal. But this was the start of the roller coaster ride of living with a mental illness. Why have I taken this leap of faith tonight? Reasons are numerous. To let other sufferers know they're not alone. Another, to let you know that each and every one of you can help. The stigma associated with this illness in its various forms, and there are many, can isolate, alienate a sufferer, causing even more anguish. One of the hardest things for me when I'm not okay is to pick up the phone to call someone. Just talk. I don't want to be a nuisance or make someone uncomfortable about telling them I'm not okay. But when I do get the courage, the relief is immense. So if someone indicates to you they aren't in a good place, just listen, be compassionate. Meet them for a coffee or go for a walk with them. You'll be amazed to learn these simple things can make a world of difference to the person suffering from a mental illness. I'll never forget some of the comments made to me 35 years ago. What have you got to be sad about? You have a beautiful baby boy and a lovely home. Or, come on, pick yourself up. These didn't help me. I feel compassion, respect, kindness, a friendly ear. Having time for others will contribute to the mental health well-being of members of our community. For people suffering, use your courage to tell someone, talk to someone, because you are and always will be worthy. Thank you.
My name is Tara Anderson and I have studied psychology for the last 4 years, with 2 more years to go before I'm a clinical psychologist. I'm here to speak on behalf of Let's Talk and hopefully raise some awareness of the ever-growing issue of mental illness. Let's Talk aims to reduce stigma of mental illness in Southwest Victoria. Mental illness is an ever-growing problem. It doesn't just go away because we choose to ignore its existence. I bet that there is not one person who does not know somebody who has suffered from some sort of mental illness. Be that friends, family, or colleagues, nobody is immune to its effects. However, the one thing that is stopping those from suffering, from getting help, is stigma. People seem to have a false perception of mental illness being self-inflicted or a sign of weakness. You are not weak if you suffer from depression or anxiety. You are human, and you are just going through a temporary shit time. Stigma divides and isolates us, where this common experience of mental illness, either directly or through knowing others who suffer, should bring us closer together. It is up to us to seek help when we know that we are struggling by ourselves. Self-helping behaviours are strong predictors of successfully recovering from mental illness. This includes things we can do for ourselves, such as going for a walk, listening to music, and just generally looking after ourselves. The smallest things, such as getting some sun, can alleviate the symptoms of depression. However, it is important not to underestimate the importance of opening up to those closest to us. You may feel that nobody cares or will understand. However, people surprise you, and more people care about you than you think. I have never been as close to or felt accepted by my friends and family until I told them what was really going on for me. It brings you together, not tear you apart. Even if you don't feel comfortable talking to someone close to you, there's always anonymous phone lines, such as Lifeline, who you have access to 24 hours and who are there to just listen without judgment. Although it is important for us to seek help when we are struggling, it is just as important that we are able to see the signs that others are not doing so well. Paying attention and asking questions when our loved ones seem withdrawn, quiet, or just not themselves is important. It is hard for someone who is struggling to start that conversation. Sometimes it just takes that one question from a friend to allow them to feel comfortable when reaching out. Googling the symptoms of depression and anxiety is one thing anyone can do to help identify potential mental illness in others. Although others may believe that coming from a regional area is isolating, I don't think that has to be. We can use our small community to our advantage. We know our neighbours and actually mostly everyone in our town. Therefore, we should help them when they are not doing so well. We should spread awareness of mental illness and reduce the stigma that has promoted isolation for so long. We can all do our part in different ways to help out Let's Talk's cause. This includes volunteering our time as an ambassador if you've suffered yourself, hosting a Let's Talk presentation, or even just displaying the Let's Talk logo on our vehicles, in our workplaces, or online. It's time we stop ignoring this problem and start trying to understand it. We all deserve to be heard, and we all care about those close enough to us to listen.
Oh, it's her birthday.
It is my birthday.
Yeah, it's her birthday.
It's my birthday Monday, but yeah, technically I'm celebrating tonight.
Weekend.
Yeah, weekend, yeah.
We celebrate for a whole weekend.
We'll celebrate anything. We're happy to do that.
We do that a lot.
We do that a lot.